For the last year, we've been reporting on civilian ammo manufacturers' government contracts. Ultimately, what we're seeing and what we have seen really since 2019 is that the US government is in control of most of the natural resources to produce ammunition. And when private ammo companies like Hornady or Federal or any of those, when they're actually doing government contracts, they were, in a weird way, almost being forced to make government ammo because the government was providing the raw material. The government contracts are the biggest contracts. When you have the ability to get a government contract and you're a weapons manufacturer, an ammo manufacturer, you're definitely going to take it. And that caused the consumption of civilian ammo to decrease significantly. There was so much civilian ammo going towards the federal government, more than we've ever seen. And this is the same issue with European companies as well, because recently the EU essentially said you have to, by law, help each other manufacture ammo for the government. So, for example, if you were in Europe and you were an ammo producer and you had a lot of extra of one particular raw material, you would have to provide that to another ammo manufacturer who doesn't have it by law in Europe to produce ammo. So really, the federal government and the EU have been seriously controlling civilian ammo, both in the United States and in Europe. Well, now what we're seeing is the ammo companies are beginning to kind of put their foot down to some degree on this and demand larger contracts, ultimately saying, if you're going to make us do what we've been doing, which is really work around the clock for you, federal government and EU, essentially making ammo that's going over to Ukraine and now going to Israel, in order to continue to do this, they're requiring much larger contracts. All of them, they have collectively, both in the United States and Europe, have said, you know what? We're not doing these little 1-2 year contracts, because that's ultimately what they have. They say, all right, I want you to make ammo for me for a year. And I'm going to pay you this much money, or I'm going to make you do it for 2 years. What they're looking for is they're looking for government contracts that can extend upwards of 10 years. Now, essentially saying, if you want this to continue, government, because they see now the federal government and the EU, they need these ammo manufacturers, where a few years ago it was kind of the opposite. The ammo manufacturers needed the government. Now the government needs the ammo manufacturers. So what they're saying is, you want this to continue, you got to provide a bigger contract. Now, the problem with that when it comes to civilian ammo is we have already seen the federal government cut civilian ammo manufacturing at Lake City Ammo. We've also seen private ammo manufacturers spend 3/4 of their time making government ammo only, which means the civilian ammo market is diminishing and diminishing and diminishing, so much so that there's a few calibers you can't get at all. And we've done videos on that. I'm going to put the link here if you want to check that out, what those calibers are. But there are certain calibers you cannot get. You might find it here and there, but the distributors are actually physically out. And there's no more to be had. Whatever's on the shelf is what there is. Once it's gone, it's gone. And it's all because of the federal consumption. Well, not just the US federal government, but the EU government as well, consuming all this ammo to send it off to war efforts in Europe and now also in Israel. So there you go. The private ammo manufacturers are now saying, all right, we will keep doing this for you, which I think is a bad idea. But they're willing to do it. They just don't want these little 1-2 year contracts. They'd like a solid decade kind of thing. And that's what they're looking for, is they're looking for larger contracts. It's almost as if the ammo manufacturers are the ones who have gotten the wealthiest off of the last few years. And they're wanting to get more wealthy. And because of this effort to become more wealthy off of the government, we are going to be deprived of our ammo for, in my opinion, decades to come. I hope I'm wrong, but it's greed when it comes to ammo manufacturers, and it's this desire to consume all of the ammo by the government. And that combination of those two things is very, very bad for civilians. So any thoughts or insights you might have on that, definitely put that below. I would like to take a moment and say most people that watch this channel are not subscribers to this channel. Please hit that subscribe button. Greatly increases the algorithm and our ability to get our messages out. That link is below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests. So never, ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.